AFTV, explain that to me.
Robbie, what do I explain, man? It's all wrong. Defensively, the same old individual mistakes, the whole structural way we look at defending. I actually think there's an issue with psychologically how we approach defending at this club. Midfield is non-existent. That being said, Mr. Granit Xhaka, I think he did okay. Strikers are feeding off scraps. We've got our top striker on the flank. We've got a creative midfielder on the left-hand side. We've got Lacazette through the middle. He can't link up with Aubameyang. Aubameyang is shoehorned. Our fullbacks are not overlapping. It's just a complete shambles. Robbie.
Are you disappointed with, and I don't want to use the word, right, because he's a legend at the club, but are you disappointed with Freddie Ljungberg? He's come in 2 games. I know it's not much time, but there's no change, is there? It's exactly the same as what it was under Unai Emery, isn't it?
Well, Robbie, I think it depends on what your expectations with Ljungberg was. I was hoping...
Well, my expectations was I'm going to come in and see, you see a little push.
Yeah, I would have thought I would have seen a revitalisation as well, typically when you see one manager go and the next one. But realistically, the players are poor, and I would flip it on its head. We all said Ljungberg, he might see the differences under Emery, but he was part of that backroom stuff. Potentially, when you're in that environment, you might not necessarily see what's wrong. I don't want to get at Ljungberg. Obviously, he's a legend and whatnot. I think it's he's just got into the role. Whether he wants to do something at this club, we won't see for a few weeks. I think it's the players. We hear how they're galvanised, they want to get back. You saw no fight. We was in the game for 20 minutes in the second half when Pepe came on. Before that, where was we? First half, it was all Brighton. Tactically, they outdone us. What's his name? Potter did an absolute job on us, even with the substitutions he made. We just weren't in it. People are looking at Arsenal as a soft touch. I cannot confirm this fact, but someone literally before I came said Brighton haven't won away from home this season. Exactly.
They haven't.
Typically, when you come to Arsenal, these things happen. You break your duck, you pop your cherry.
Brighton have got a horrific away record this season.
And they thought, Arsenal, look at what Southampton did. Look at other teams that have come here. Teams are walking away from the Emirates and looking at, not because if they lost or drawn because they've played badly, they're looking at it as if they don't get 3 points, they're absolutely livid. We're a soft touch. Our players don't think like winners. We have to look at the pride of these individuals because they're going out there and opening up their legs and just letting everybody in. It's a joke, Robbie. All these players want to talk about Arsenal and this and that. The shirt is too heavy for a number of these individuals. So it's a joke, Robbie.
Who do you want in next?
Robbie, I'm past the point of talking about managers. The managers we probably want, the established ones we're clearly not going to get, the Rodgers, the Allegris, etc. I just want someone that's clear in the mind of ideas. I don't know a specific name, but someone that's got a plan. I don't think anybody can change this really and get our season on top until May.
Are we in danger of relegation?
I wouldn't say realistically we're not going to get relegated, but it's going to be a fucking shit season, Robbie. Let's cut the crap. It's going to be a poor season. We badly need a centre half in January. We're a joke, Robbie. It doesn't. Everybody talks about these defensive pairings. It's just the best of a bad bunch. You're seeing experienced individuals put in these performances. I feel sorry for Martinelli coming off the bench, Joe Willett, because how can these young players thrive? They have question marks over their own stuff and have to improve. But how can they thrive in this madness, Robbie? It's experienced players, Ljungberg, etc., whatever. We can talk about the manager, but these players are they're professional athletes. They're some of the most self-reflecting individuals on this planet. They know what they're doing wrong, and they're just not thinking like winners. Again, we've had about some of these players in my lifetime now have played under 3 separate coaches now with Wenger and Emery and whatnot, and they're still doing the same thing wrong. A lot of these players are poor. How the board honestly came and thought David Luiz, Socrates, and our existing options was going to get us top 4 is ridiculous. Emery's a crook, and you saw it. There was no systematic things he tried to run with, and that's a trickled effect. Ljungberg isn't going to change anything. Ljungberg can't change anything. Clearly he's over his head. I want him to do well, but he's over his head, Robbie. There's not much we can do. We just have to hope to God, to be fair with you, man. That's it. Cool.